Not quite Saturday, but may the 4th be with you. Whattup viewers, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, May 3rd, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Not all good things can last forever, and Helldivers 2 has really stepped in it this week. Starting in June, and different for different players, but starting in June, Helldivers 2 will require you to log into your PSN account before you can jump into the Helldivers game. So basically, any PC gamers that are playing Helldivers 2 will have to sign into their Sony or PlayStation login before they can play Helldivers 2, and they'll have to have the two accounts linked, which I think throws another monkey wrench in, and like how Steam links to your PSN accounts. I think there's some finicky stuff there. Anyway, it was for the past several months, people have been playing Helldivers 2 and enjoying it across PlayStation and PC. But now there's a big old monkey wrench, and everybody's kind of upset about it. So, I think even saw some information about like some countries you can't log in to PSN in a couple countries. So, like, that could be an issue if someone bought the game but can't access it. So, yeah, PC players are quite upset about having to this whole kind of like connecting their two accounts. So Sony shows again, rears their ugly head that they're very much a walled garden, and we've been playing. I guess we've been playing different for now. So yeah, all in all, hopefully something gets worked out. But yeah, this was quite a big deal, and I really feel for PC players of Helldivers 2. So yeah, it sucks. Moving right along, anybody who was requesting a new Arkham game, well, you got it this week, whether you like it or not. There was a new, so big news this week was there was a new Batman Arkham game announced called Batman Arkham Shadow, and it's actually a sequel. It's a sequel. Batman VR came out in 2015 or 2016, and this is also going to be a Batman VR game. So not probably the platforms that you were looking to play it on, and probably not the platform you wanted to play it on, as it is a MetaQuest 3 exclusive game. So I didn't even know there was a third MetaQuest. Maybe this is coming out, but the game is planned to come out later this year. Yeah, the game's planned on coming out later this year, and I bet there's probably not going to be people lining up to pick it up, but wish them all the best. I enjoyed Batman VR when it came out back in the day, so hopefully it's like that. But I also saw the Rats was some C-tier Batman villain, was a reference to C-tier Batman villain, which I'm a DC fan and didn't even get that reference. So yeah, very curious what they're gonna do. But VR's changed a lot, and so hopefully we have more to experience than the 90-minute experience we got in Batman VR previously. Moving on to games that actually launched this week. Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls-like game, which it's kind of, Souls-like games are quite dime a dozen nowadays, but Another Crab's Treasure mixes things up by having really good platforming, from what I've read in the reviews, as well as like just having a color palette. Dark Souls games can be very dreary with their blacks and grays and browns, but this is a colorful sea adventure, except for it's also pretty hard and got Souls-like kind of combat mechanics. So it's currently at a 73 Metacritic, or 79 Metacritic, so decent Metacritic for those who are interested. And so if you're interested in picking up a Souls-like, something to get to warm you up before Shadow of the Erdtree drops later this year, might be a fun game to pick up. So check out Another Crab's Treasure. Not this week, but last week, and I was off last week, so getting to it now. But Embracer has broken up, or at least the biggest game. Maybe not the biggest. Are they bigger than Tencent now? Maybe. The biggest IP holder / gaming company has now been broken up into 3 separate parts. Asmodee, which sounds like it's a lot of like the IP holder, and I know from like the board game side of things, is one portion of it. Coffee Stain and Friends is the name of the second company, which you'll see that and Friends is kind of added on, which is a very kind of meta-esque rebranding. And then also Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends is the third company. So Coffee Stain, Asmodee, and Middle Earth, which means that the Lord of the Rings is kind of being spun off into its own thing. Asmodee, which is a lot of the IP holders being spun off, and Coffee Stain is right there in the middle. So, I think a lot of people kind of dug at the and friends part, which, like I said, is very Facebook transforming into meta levels of like trying to rebrand and save face, and the Embracer name kind of being turned into trying to being very volatile nowadays. So and nuclear as it were. So yeah, I'm curious kind of how these three separate entities are going to operate and what actually falls under each of them. And there's a lot of gaming IP involved and probably scattered across each of those. So, and of course, the one I'm most concerned with is Middle Earth Enterprises. Very curious what the Lord of the Rings IP is doing and kind of where that sits and what's going on there. Speaking of big investments or big investors, Hasbro has taken all the money they saved by firing half of their not half, but firing a large portion of their workforce. They've taken that money, and maybe not exactly that money, but they've invested $1 billion into the gaming industry. So Hasbro is looking to kind of build out a gaming arm to kind of spread. Gaming is a very efficient way of proliferating your IP. So Hasbro's got a lot of those. So they want to get those on. They want to get those in, get those IPs in games sometime soon. So I hopefully they hired back on some of the people they fired from their biggest IPs like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. And I think even quoted in the video was like, "Hey, everyone likes Baldur's Gate 3. Let's just make more of those." Which, yeah, it's really easy. Just make more Baldur's Gate. Like that's just so easy. Just have like 10 years of quality hits. Two game award winning games, and yeah, you can just pull it off. Yeah, I think it's a little bit overstated and apparently not dipping their toes in the water, but fully diving in. Very curious to see kind of what a Hasbro gaming arm can unleash on the world. So, but finally, someone's pointing to Baldur's Gate 3 and saying maybe we should make one of those. Just so happens to be the company that holds the IP behind it. But yeah, very curious what they do in the gaming space and which IPs they choose to build up first. So pretty interesting there. We've gotten a couple rumors. The video games industry is nothing but a mill of rumors sometimes, and this first one is all speculation around the Switch 2 and how the Joy-Cons will be magnetic. So rather than having to like click a little plastic switch and pull the Joy-Cons off, they'll just be magnetized to the side. So I don't know if that'll help with stick drift or maybe that'll make it worse. But hopefully they figured all that out since they launched in 2015. So yeah, hopefully there's not as many issues and we can talk about battery size and how much memory is on the device. So hopefully all of those things are going to be fixed whenever we see the Switch 2. But for now, we've got speculation on magnetic Joy-Cons. So yeah, I'm still very curious how that's going to work. And I feel like if I can just magnetize it, am I just going to have Joy-Cons on my fridge? Anyway, I digress. I'm going to move on. Sticking swords and shields and weapons on your walls is so passe nowadays. What if I could put the arm of my enemy on the wall? Well, now you can. One of Elden Ring's, or probably Elden Ring's hardest boss, Malenia, probably said that wrong. Malenia has a replica of her arm that is being sold for just a shy of $400. It is 1-to-1 sized. It doesn't look like it's wearable. It looked in the video I saw. It looked like, oh, could you wear it? That doesn't seem to be the case. But yeah, they're making a 1-to-1 Millennia arm. So yeah, you can put it on your wall or put it on your shelf, or put it on your mantle as you defeated Millennia 100 billion times. Like let me solo her. Anyway, if you want the arm of your enemy to put on your wall, you can definitely check that out. I'll have a link down below. for you to check it out. You may be thinking that popcorn buckets are getting really over the top, and lots going on with them nowadays. But have you thought about doing what popcorn buckets are doing, but as a Slurpee cup? Well, 7-Eleven has, and they are partnering up with Tetris to bring you a Slurpee cup that you can play Tetris on the side of, which seems a little interesting. I'm curious kind of how the electronics and the cold condensation works with the Slurpee cup, but you can play Tetris on the side of a Slurpee cup now. So I'll have a link so you can check that out. And yeah, popcorn buckets are getting a little over the top nowadays. Moving right along, Jackbox has finally given us what we wanted for so long. We've all been playing Jackbox and slowly introducing adult themes in there. Well, now Jackbox is making it all leaving it all on the table because they are making an M-rated version of Jackbox. So the next Jackbox expansion will be for adults. I've played way too many hours of Jackbox, and a lot of it has been, with a few beers in me, and it gets pretty risque. So I'm very curious what Jackbox knows that people play that way. So I'm curious what they can do with that knowledge to bring kind of that adult content into Jackbox. So interesting to see what they do with that. Last but not least, a game that hit my wish list this week. It's really right up my alley, is a cozy fantasy game where you build a castle. That's everything I ever want to do, especially trying to relax nowadays with 2 kids. Tiny Glade is a little game you doodle out a castle using their tools, and you can change the color and the themes, and all the while you've got nature sounds going on in the background. Very cozy. You just build a castle, which the different kind of castles you can build and all that kind of stuff, all the different tools you can use, look pretty interesting. So definitely hit my wish list this week. Let me know if it hits yours. I'll have a link so you can check it out down below. That's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, any type of engagement is much appreciated. And I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye.